Have you ever wondered why there are people in their 70s or even 80 can still walk briskly, talk flexibly, and enjoy life to the fullest, while other people of the same age have difficulty with the simplest tasks of the day? Many people believe that the difference is due to genetics or luck, but reality shows that there are much more specific factors. Recent studies have shown that if a person between the ages of 65 and 80 still maintains certain abilities, they belong to a very special group of elderly people who are aging slowly, proactively, and with vitality. These abilities are not sublime or complicated things, but they are associated with everyday actions that we sometimes do not pay attention to. The problem is that most older people have gradually lost them without realizing it. In today's content, I will share with you 7 important signs that are considered reliable indicators by medical experts and researchers to assess the quality of aging. These are not only survival skills, but also clear evidence that you are preserving your sanity, mobility, and independence. 3 key factors that determine longevity and quality of life in old age. After watching, you can ask yourself a very important question. How many of these abilities do I still retain? If the answer is many, congratulations, you are one of the few truly outstanding seniors. And if some of them are becoming difficult, don't worry, because you can completely start again from today and improve step by step to live healthier, more proactively, and more peacefully every day. To better understand those precious signs, let me look at a real case. Ms. Kailla is 73 years old, a retired woman after many years as an interior designer. She lives a simple life, does not follow any strict exercise regimen, nor does she follow a strict diet or follow new health trends. Her days pass with the same routine that she has maintained for many years. One morning in early autumn, as usual, she went to the clinic for a routine health check. After completing the motor function and memory tests, her doctor was silent for a moment as he looked at the results. He raised his head, smiled, and said that according to the measured indicators, Ms. Kailla's physical and mental health were equivalent to a woman over 60. She was surprised and somewhat skeptical because she did not do anything special, just live the way she always lived. But that is the key point. Those seemingly simple habits are the factors that have helped her maintain abilities that most people her age have long lost. It is not random luck, but the result of living rightly naturally day by day. What's even more remarkable is that those abilities are not merely manifestations, but are also scientific signs that she can live healthier and more independent for many years than her peers. And right now, I will share with you exactly those 7 special abilities so you can see and compare with yourself. Who knows, you may discover that you are also preserving more valuable things than you ever thought. Sign 1, you sleep deeply and wake up alert. One of the first and most important signs that you are aging healthily is the quality of your sleep. If you regularly sleep uninterrupted throughout the night, do not wake up many times, do not need to take medication, and when you wake up, you feel alert and relieved, then that is a clear proof that your body is still operating persistently and effectively. This seems normal, but is actually rare in people over the age of 65. According to research at the Sleep Science Center at Stanford University, natural sleep is directly related to the ability to restore cells, regulate hormones, and reduce inflammatory reactions in the body, thereby helping to prolong life and prevent cognitive decline. For Ms. Kailla, sleep has never been something she takes lightly. Even though she doesn't apply any modern scientific methods, she still keeps a simple routine. Go to bed on time, don't let artificial light bother you, and maintain an airy, quiet bedroom space. That habit has helped her have deep, regular sleep for many years. While some of her peers gradually had to take sleeping pills or complained of prolonged fatigue, Ms. Kailla started every morning with alertness and a positive spirit. Her personal doctor once commented that the ability to maintain that natural sleep cycle is an extremely important factor in helping her maintain a healthy immune system and mental clarity, as if her brain was still operating in the rhythm of middle age. If you are currently getting that kind of sleep, congratulations! You are possessing a valuable biological foundation to live healthy and independent for many years to come. If you feel like your sleep is being interrupted, don't worry. You can absolutely start with small changes. Keep a regular bedtime, reduce light before bed, avoid using the phone in the evening, and give your body enough time to relax before entering a state of deep rest. Don't underestimate sleep, because it is during the hours you are sleeping that your body is quietly regenerating, repairing and preserving youth in a patient and miraculous way. Sign 2. You can get up from the chair without using your hands. One of the simple physical signs that has the highest value in predicting longevity is the ability to get up from a chair without using your hands. This seemingly small action actually requires smooth coordination between muscle strength, the ability to maintain balance, and a stable motor nervous system. According to research published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy, nearly 60% of people over 70 years old cannot perform this movement smoothly without support from their hands or surrounding surfaces. That not only reflects weakness of the lower body, but also shows a high risk of losing the ability to be independent in daily activities. In Kailla's case, this came as a natural reflex. Even though she doesn't practice gym or yoga regularly, she still maintains the habit of doing housework, going to the market, bending down to take care of plants, or simply standing up and sitting down every time she reads a book or makes tea. It was those daily movements that silently maintained the strength of her lower body without her even knowing. During an activity with a group of old friends at a reading club, she accidentally realized that she was the only person who could stand up from a low sofa without needing to hold on to anything. Everyone teased that she was probably still younger than her real age, but to her doctor, this was an important indicator. It showed that she was still maintaining her body's flexibility, something that most elderly people have gradually lost. If you're trying to stand up from a chair without your arms and find it difficult, don't be discouraged. This ability can be completely trained. You just need to start with simple exercises like standing up and sitting down 5 times every morning, keeping your arms crossed in front of your chest so they don't use them as support. At first, you may only be able to do it once or twice, but if you keep repeating it every day, within a few weeks, you will clearly feel progress. Keeping your feet healthy not only helps you avoid the risk of falling, but is also an important condition for you to maintain an independent, active life and be less dependent on others as you get older. Consider this a small but meaningful test for your own long-term health. Sign 3. You balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds. Maintaining balance is one of the seemingly simple abilities, but plays a huge role in maintaining safety, confidence, and independence in the elderly. According to a large-scale study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, people who cannot stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds are 84% more likely to die within 10 years than those who can. This is not only related to the ability to maintain balance, but also reflects the flexibility of the nervous system, muscle strength, and the connection between the brain and the body. The ability to stand on one leg for a few seconds may seem insignificant, but it is a silent indicator of the sustainability of overall health. For Ms. Kailla, this ability comes as a part of her daily life without her being fully aware. While waiting for the water to boil for tea in the morning, or while brushing her teeth in the evening, she often unconsciously lifts one leg for a few seconds as a way to gently relax her legs. Once, at a family gathering, a young grandchild challenged her to stand on one leg while the whole family laughed. She walked into the middle of the room without needing to hold on to anything and stood firmly for more than 10 seconds. No one expected that a simple action would make the whole family admire, not because of the performance, but because it showed something much more important. She was still in control of her body. When the doctor periodically examined her and listened to her talk about that small habit, he did not hesitate to comment that it was these random movements, repeated every day, that protected her from the risks of falling or decreased mobility that many people of the same age were facing. If you're looking to test your balance, try standing near a sturdy wall or chair. Gently lift one foot off the ground and count silently to 10. If you find it difficult, don't worry, because this ability can completely improve over time. Just practice a few times a day, starting with 5 seconds and gradually increasing, and you will gradually regain a feeling of stability and flexibility. Balance not only helps you stand steady, but is also a silent sign that you are still maintaining both physical and mental stability. Sign 4. You can walk and talk without being out of breath. The ability to walk and talk without feeling out of breath or having to stop to catch your breath is one of the clearest signs that your heart, lungs, and nervous system are still coordinating smoothly and effectively. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic call this parallel processing ability, or the ability to perform 2 tasks at the same time, and consider it a reliable indicator of brain and circulatory health. When a person can no longer maintain a steady walking pace while conversing, it often indicates that the body is starting to have difficulty distributing energy and oxygen between organ systems, especially the brain. For Ms. Kailla, walking and talking has never been a concern. For many years, she maintained the habit of walking her dog every morning in the park near her home. Those walks were not only a time for exercise, but also an opportunity for her to chat with a few familiar neighbors. Some days they chatted about current affairs. Other days they discussed crops, books, or simply shared a few trivial thoughts of the day. No matter how long the conversation lasted, she still maintained a steady pace, never having to pause to breathe or slow down to adjust. The doctor once told her that the ability to maintain physical and cognitive activity at the same time is a clear sign that her brain is still being supplied with enough blood and oxygen, and that the central nervous system is still working effectively to process both language and movement at the same time. If you're wondering whether you're maintaining this ability, try a simple test. On your next walk, try reading a poem, counting backwards from 100, or chatting with a companion without slowing your pace. If you feel tired, have to stop, or can't keep your flow going, it could be a sign that you need more practice. Start with short segments, a few dozen seconds, then gradually increase over time. Don't underestimate the ability to walk flexibly and talk seamlessly, because it is a harmonious combination of physical health and mental acuity, something that not everyone can still maintain over the age of 70. Sign 5. You remember names and recent events clearly. Memory, especially short-term memory, is one of the factors that most accurately reflects the aging rate of the brain. If you can remember the name of someone you just met, remember the content of a conversation that took place a few days ago, or even just remember where you left your glasses without having to look around the house, then you have one of the most valuable indicators of mental health. Many people often think that forgetting names or confusing information is normal as we get older, but neuroscientists at Harvard Medical School confirm that memory decline is not inevitable in old age. On the contrary, people who maintain the ability to remember names of people, events, and small details in daily activities are the group whose brains function stably and are less likely to suffer from memory diseases such as dementia or Alzheimer's. For Ms. Kailla, memory has never been something that worried her. At a recent family birthday party, she surprised everyone by not only calling each grandchild by name, but also remembering their hobbies, their favorite foods, and even small details from previous conversations. One of the grandchildren rolled his eyes and said that his grandmother remembered better than his parents. For Ms. Kailla, it was simply a part of her natural interests. But for the doctor, it was a clear sign that the neural connections in her brain were still firmly maintained. She doesn't use any complicated memory techniques, but has a habit of repeating people's names during conversations, noting something special about them, and often spending a few minutes every evening recalling what happened during the day. Those small habits, repeated over and over, have become her way of preserving memory as a part of life. If you find yourself starting to forget names of people you know or things that just happen, don't rush to the conclusion that it's something that can't be changed. Memory can be trained, and brains of all ages are resilient if properly stimulated. You can start by repeating the person's name when you first meet them, connecting that name to an image or a story, and taking time each day to repeat the information you have received. Memory is not a repository, but a network that needs to be connected and reinforced every day. Like Kailla, if you know how to naturally maintain attention, observe and remember, you can keep your mind clear and vibrant even into the deeper years of old age. Sign 6. You communicate in a balanced way and listen well. The ability to converse naturally, listen to others without taking over the entire conversation or unconsciously repeating the same story many times is one of the clear signs that the area of your brain that controls subtlety, emotional regulation, and social awareness is still working well. After age 65, many people begin to have difficulty maintaining balance when communicating, partly because the speed of information processing slows down, partly because of the gradual decline in the ability to recognize social signals. According to neuroscientists at UCLA, this is directly related to the activity of the prefrontal cortex, which governs behavioral control, working memory, and the ability to self-regulate when interacting with others. When this brain area is well protected, people can still talk courteously, deeply, and listen sincerely, even after reaching the age of 70. In Ms. Kailla's case, the sophistication in communication is always what makes others feel comfortable. Whether in family conversations, meetings with old friends, or even when talking to much younger people, she always knows how to ask questions at the right time, listen with interest, and respond in a moderate manner without interrupting or lengthy. The stories she tells are often just enough, always opening up space for the other person to share more. That's what makes her always loved by everyone, because the feeling of being listened to and respected is a rare gift in everyday conversations. A close friend of hers once said that talking to Kailla was like drinking a cup of hot tea on a rainy day, warm and peaceful. Her neurologist later determined that her ability to maintain harmony in communication was a clear indicator that she retained flexibility in thinking, emotional control, and social awareness, all important factors in preventing cognitive decline in old age. If you find yourself constantly talking to yourself, interrupting others, or not remembering how many times you've told a story, it might be time to practice paying attention in your communication. Try a simple exercise. In each conversation, set a goal to listen more than you talk, or try to summarize what the other person is saying before sharing your opinion. This is not only an art of behavior, but also a way to train your brain to maintain social connections, nourish your mind, and keep your spiritual life rich. Just like how Ms. Kailla has preserved it as a natural part of her gentle understanding and inner strength. Sign 7. You learn new technology without rejection or fear. In the modern world, technology is no longer something just for young people, but has become an essential part of everyone's daily life. For the elderly, access to technology not only helps maintain social connections, but also reflects flexibility in thinking and the ability to adapt to a constantly changing environment. Researchers at MIT have shown that older people who are willing to learn and become familiar with new technology are often able to maintain more flexible neural networks. thereby slowing down the brain's aging process and increasing independence in daily life. Not only are they learning how to use the device, but they are also activating areas of the brain associated with memory, concentration, and problem solving. For Ms. Kailla, technology has never been something that scared her. Even though she was not born into the digital age, she still approaches new tools with curiosity and a little patience. When the pandemic happened and people were socially distanced, instead of feeling lost, she proactively asked her grandchild for instructions on how to make video calls over the phone, use messaging apps, track follow-up appointments through health software, and even order books online with just a few taps. These seemingly small things have helped her stay in constant contact with family and friends, proactively access information, and feel like she is still living in the flow of the world, not falling behind. She does not learn technology as a responsibility, but approaches it as an interesting thing to explore. Her doctor once commented that her willingness to try new things was a sign that her brain still retained the ability to form new neural connections, a factor closely related to longevity and mental health. If you've ever felt confused by a new app or hesitant when hearing about electronic devices, try changing your perspective. Instead of thinking that you are too old to learn, consider approaching technology as a small game to try. You can start by learning to send photos via phone, join a video call, or simply type in a keyword to search for information online. Every time you do a new action, you allow your brain to move, adapt, and develop. Technology is not only for talented people, but for those who are patient and open-minded enough to learn. Like Ms. Kailla, who has proven that it is never too late to approach new things and that a positive attitude towards technology can be a spiritual medicine to help you live healthier, more proactive, and happier every day. Looking back at the 7 signs with a seemingly simple yet meaningful thought, you may realize that aging is not an inevitable downhill process, but a journey that can be proactively shaped by small choices every day. From deep sleep to the ability to stand up without hands, from keeping balance to conversing honestly, from sharp memory to an open attitude towards technology, all of these things not only speak to physical or mental health, but also reflect how each person chooses to live, choose to preserve and nurture themselves over the years. Ms. Kailla is a living proof of that. She has no secret formula, no strict regimen or special miracle. What she has is the regularity and positive habits, the gentleness in her outlook on life, and the patience to silently preserve every small ability that seems trivial but is extremely valuable. She didn't try to be extraordinary, but it was her perseverance in the simple things that made her an outstanding elder that everyone appreciated and admired. If you find yourself maintaining many of those signs, smile because you're doing great. If there is something you have lost or are finding difficult, today is a great time to start again. Gently, little by little, no pressure, no rush. Because the miracle of old age does not lie in resisting time, but in knowing how to live deeper in each moment, knowing how to love yourself more every day, and knowing that you still have a lot of things you can preserve and develop. Aging well is not something reserved for the lucky few. It is a journey that can open up to anyone who is patient enough, listens to their body enough, and believes enough in the value of seemingly small things. And if you're reading these lines, you've got to start. For the rest, you just need to continue moving forward each day, each breath, each gentle and meaningful choice for yourself.